Holy Spirit, guide us, lead us, help us as we lift our thoughts, words, and actions to bring you glory. As we embark on this journey to wrestle with who you are, your word, and how to apply it to our lives, let this be a blessing to our listeners and to ourselves. As we strive to be kingdom builders, lead us with grace and humility. Please shine through us, Lord. We walk this out of faith of who you are and hope of being of service to you, Lord. In Jesus' name, our high priest, we pray. Amen.
What is going on?
Jesus is my goat.
Six God, Drake, Kendrick. Six. That's what Kendrick. That's what Drake be saying.
I don't listen to Drake.
You don't listen to Drake no more?
No, it's been since I've been to Cali with jumping in the pool.
You stopped listening. That was like 2000 and
yeah, it was a while ago.
But Drake is popular music in Target.
Yeah, look at all these SKUs.
I still listen to him. I dance to him.
The Kids Bop version?
No, I listen to the real version of Drake because he is Kids Bop. No, I'm joking. We're gonna get canceled. We'll get a cease and desist.
Yeah. At least we made it if we can get sued.
Yes. Hey Drake, we talk about you.
Yeah.
Put us on. Before we get started, I got a verse I'm gonna read. It says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. So I'm reading that because we got a mutual friend who is going through some things. Hopefully they can hear me. Is going through some things, and he asked me to reach out to him every week, and he recommended this book called Gentle and Lowly.
Okay.
Gentle and Lowly.
Is this your friend is in rehab? Our friend is in rehab.
It's our friend that told me to read this book. Exactly what I said.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out which friend.
The audience don't need to know which friend.
I'm not asking for a name. I'm asking you some details. We have 3 people.
But people can deduce stuff. The rehab.
Like rehab? Exercising, stretching out, working with special doctors.
No.
Okay.
No. Can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out. Go ahead. My bad.
I mean, you know. I mean, if it ain't that one, then it's the other one.
Okay.
Who else do you know who one of our friends is going through some stuff?
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Then why didn't you say it the first time? Anyway.
I didn't.
Hey, the movie in the back of ground. We talked about this like in episode 2. You can see right there. If you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. But anyway, so Christians know what Jesus Christ has done, but who is he? What is his deepest heart for his people, weary and faltering on their journey toward heaven? Jesus said he is gentle and lowly in heart. This book reflects on these words, opening up a neglected yet yet central truth about who he is for sinners and sufferers today. So I'm gonna read this book, and then we're on episode 6. So like by episode 8, I will have this book done. I'm gonna send it to you. I'll probably be able to give it to you next time I'm in town, so you can read it too.
It actually plays into what I wanted to talk about today.
Oh well, the title of this episode is God and Politics. And it's funny that you did this because, again, people, we don't prepare for these. So we just want y'all to listen. I had just told Lisa this. So me and Izzy went and got haircuts the other day. I had to get a little haircut. I'm getting old, got these grays, but I had to get hair trimmed up a little bit. I had some agency visits. And last night when we were driving back from it, it was this license plate frame. So you know how you have your Iowa State alumni frame or your, Kansas sucks, like Kansas Jayhawks sucks, Rock Chalk suck, jock, whatever, like that stuff. This one said at the bottom, it said, Trump is my president. And it was in red, like it was the color was like red, the red hologram, not hologram, but the red like reflector plates. So I'm like, but it had something up on top in blue. I'm like, all right, cool. What does this say? So, and it wasn't like one of them cheap plastic ones. It was like one of them nicer metal ones with the nice stuff in it, engraved, whatever it was. So when we got to a light, we stopped, and I was behind it, and it said, Jesus is my savior. Trump is my president.
Okay.
And I looked at that and I said, wow, like I know that we only got 3 listeners, so I can say this stuff, but you don't worship false idols, don't. So it seems like to me that license plate frame was putting them kind of in the same plane when you put that together on it. So I looked at them as saying, like, basically saying both of them are as important as one another and vice versa, is what I looked at that. I looked at it and I'm like, if you got those two on the same license plate cover and you're saying Jesus is my savior, but Trump is my president, you're putting them in sync. You're putting them on the same kind of level. So that was interesting to me, and I wanted to get your thought on that as you ponder this, because it was something that I just saw last night, and then you said we wanted to talk about God and politics, and that bumper, that license plate frame had, kind of both of those things on there. People have their own thoughts of who. Are you going to text people and tell people to watch? Because we're live right now on YouTube. Like it'd be
I'm
all.
I'm not
texting
texting
nobody.
No.
Man, I should text some people and tell them to
Go
listen.
for it.
Maybe they don't have the YouTube, but anyway. So yeah, so you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it still goes into the beginning of what you were saying with that book. I don't remember exact words you were saying, but it plays into God's kingdom versus man's kingdom empire.
Okay.
They don't align. Like our government and what God wants aren't the same. So if that person was trying to portray they are the same, I feel like they're misaligned with the Bible.
And I don't know if that's what they mean. That's how I
don't
took
either,
it when
but
I saw it.
That's
But
what it looks like.
So if they aligned it, if it was aligned, let me mute this because I'm hearing. So if they align that, what are your thoughts? What does the Bible say? Like how do you see that if they were aligning that? And let's assume that they were. We don't know. I don't know the person, so it's not like we're talking negative about it.
Yeah,
we don't know.
I mean, it doesn't matter who the president was. It's still not aligned.
Okay, perfect.
So like we have natural borders, like we have, between Canada and Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
God doesn't care about that.
Okay.
So like us defending our border isn't of God. And I know tons of people disagree with me.
So when you say defending our border, be specific on when you say defending our border.
So I mean, let me use an example. If I have 10 apples,
mm-hmm.
and then I have 9 people come to me and are hungry,
mm-hmm.
I should give them 9 apples.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where those 9 people come from. If they came from over our border, they're from in my house, outside my house. If I interact with those people, God says he has given to me for I can give to others to represent him. He doesn't care where they're from. So when I'm saying
mm-hmm.
defending our borders, I'm saying I'm not looking out for Americans. I'm looking out for God's people. So that those two things, God's people are everywhere. He doesn't care about those borders.
So you saying really there is no place for politics and religion should not be the same.
So religion is just like broad. I'm just saying Christianity does not align with global politics.
Okay.
You can't be a good Christian and a good president and society's perspective.
You say you can't be a good president and a good Christian.
Because Jesus literally said, love your enemies.
Okay.
If I'm president and we're attacked, society says I'm supposed to defend the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like, oh, come on in. Oh, make yourself comfortable. That's not being a good president. And I'm being very vague.
Yeah.
Obviously it's more complex than that, but like I'm just saying, like you can't turn the other cheek, be very forgiving, and keep the seat. You get voted out.
So you're saying that nobody in the general, whatever the biggest general is, he can't be a Christian.
No, I'm not saying you can't be a Christian. I'm saying you can't. So when Jesus was on earth, he was the great. He represented the faith, right?
Okay.
What they do to him?
Yep, they crucified him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's where the faith leads to. Society and the faith collide. They don't match. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't be a Christian and be a politician, because you can't, because all men are flawed. I'm saying you can't do Christianity perfectly and then align that with our politics, because they don't align.
So when Trump endorses the God bless the USA Bible, and it's the only Bible that he endorses as a Christian. Say what?
Don't get me started.
Okay. So
go ahead.
But what I'm asking is that is bringing that religion piece into it, because he wants the Bible back in schools, right? Is that where this is like they're trying to get the religion back in school? Because Lisa's watching When Calls the Heart, and it's a Hallmark thing, and they have the schools were in church houses.
Okay.
Back in that time, they didn't have separate schoolhouses from this show portraying it. I don't know for a fact that they didn't have separate. I don't know when they separated those two, but I know I hear the separation of church and state. You hear those things, but these lines are blurred. So we have God in politics, but these lines are so blurred. And you even said it yourself. It's like you can't be a good Christian and a good president, because if you do what the Bible says, then you get crucified. Because if you let these people into our borders and take us on, then we're at a disadvantage. And so that puts his beliefs and things it's kind of like when they say, when you go to work and they say leave that personal stuff at the door. Because when I go to work, my religion and my beliefs to an extent go into work with me, because I'm not going to do something like I feel it's unethical because my job says, X, Y, and Z. So if I don't feel that way, I should be moving on and find another job that kind of aligns with my beliefs and thoughts. It's that slippery slope, because if our president, any president, because we're talking about the presidential role, if any president is there and they are whatever religion they are, and they have to go against what some of the things that their religion says because they are protecting the masses, they are supposed to be looking out for the people. But when I think about the Bible and I think about what you said about Jesus, and if you had 10 apples and you gave some people 9 people came, you had an apple, you gave everybody else 9, all your apples was gone. But I think about the Constitution, I think about the things they say, and they say we the people, and they talk about all the people of the United States. That's a different conversation.
Okay.
That when it was written,
yeah,
it was we the people, but
white
some
males.
people were not considered. Yes, because women,
land owning males.
Yeah, because the women didn't have the same rights. The
The
natives didn't have the same.
Yeah.
The what?
The poorest, you had to have land.
Yeah. So it wasn't really we the people. So now you want to get on the whole thing about the Constitution. I mean, what episode we gonna get in for that one? That's
you said it.
We need to have. I mean, while we only have 5 viewers, it might be okay for us to talk about it now. I hope they don't go back and watch them later, because
this is for a different time. But I struggle with when people say we were founded on Christian principles. We were a Christian nation.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what the forefathers. And I struggle with that.
Hold on, time out 1 second. on my phone, I got a notification. Oh, can we see that? Hold on.
Who is that?
Well, who's what?
The face.
What face? Oh,
I
that's
see
me and that's me and Lisa
Okay.
in our comfies. We was bored.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it says YouTube notification, watch live now. Podcast, God in Politics. So it is out there live now because I have it on my YouTube on my phone.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it says it's live right
we
now.
on our way.
Man, you know, I take a screenshot of that to say, hey, we did it. But go ahead. My bad.
I made it. Oh, just gonna say, at some point we just need to talk about my disagreement with We Are a Christian Nation.
Man, I'm hot in this coat. It's hot. It's 75 degrees in Arizona. What is it? What's the temperature out there?
20.
Ooh, man.
We have water.
Big swing. I will cut you. You say that again. I'm not afraid to cut you. I'm not afraid to go to jail. Take me to jail. Lock me up. Throw away the key. I ain't gonna keep going with that whole thing because it didn't age well.
No, I didn't. He put his hands on you? I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting way that
let me just go on. I'm not like, just to reiterate, you can be a practicing Christian. I'm just saying, if you play out what the Bible teaches, our society will shun you. There's even people now who go to church and the pastor will read scripture. Like the Sermon on the Mount is like one of the most famous teachings of Jesus in the Bible. And pastors have gone and said, where are you getting this liberal crap from? And the pastor will be like, I literally was quoting the Bible. And then people will say, well, that liberal BS doesn't work anymore. That's where we're headed in our society. And that's why I'm saying you can't be a good practicing Christian and walk that path out and then do the politics thing and have those things both go well in the eyes of the public.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm posting something on there. Acts 5:29. But Peter and other apostles answered and said, who ought to obey God rather than men?
Yeah.
It kind of goes to what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, but people stand behind their beliefs and their religion and why they support certain people in power.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the wrong way to look at it. How do we explain away, or how do we get to people? Conversation we had earlier. This is kind of off topic, but kind of on topic. We talk about what was I don't know if it was Dave Chappelle when he's talking about every black dude got a black person, an old black person behind them. Don't do that. That's 5 to 10. Like there are these voices and these things that kind of tell you that if it looks like a duck and quack like a duck, it's a duck. Sometimes people just try to say, well, that could be a platypus because platypus has a duck bill, and they be like, okay, it's a platypus. They kind of try to put a spin on it to make it fit their world. We are at a big disadvantage right now because things are getting spent in a way that puts us at a disadvantage. We are not, I think that when we talk about God and politics, I think personally we have been so divided by politics that we have not been godly.
Yeah.
And we have not been of the right mind. We have not been showing that brotherly love. I think we've been but we've been divided for so long that I don't believe that we've ever, in my lifetime, we've never treated all men the way we're supposed to be treated, men or women. When I say men, I mean one man, woman.
Yeah.
I say man. We have not treated right. And you go back 20 years before I was born, 50 years before I was born, 400 years before I was born, in the United States, we have not treated people as people. And we've tried, and sometimes they try to hide behind the politics of things. I'm not gonna. I can go deep into the slavery thing, and I talk about only bring that up because from my knowledge is that the police, because they always talk about police reform, and policing was a way. We most people that probably listen to this have seen the movie Life.
Okay.
They're getting free labor for the state of Mississippi. Down here in Mississippi, we don't have no fences, boss. But we look at that, we say that was created as a form to keep some people in slavery, because again, just like today, sometimes the punishment does not fit the crime. And I look at that and I'm like, that's a political thing. Like politics, political governments created the policing system to still keep some kind of modern day slavery, modern day where you're in an indentured servant type thing. And so we have not been godly, or whatever the other word, because we're talking about this from that perspective, but there are other religions and things like that. And most of these religions, I believe, and I don't know, but say you should treat man kind of equally. You should treat your brethren. I know most of them probably use that word brethren, but treating people with respect, treating people as treat your neighbors, the way you want to be treated. And it kind of touches on the episode we had, like one of our first episodes where we talked about, we talked about morals. For me, I just really believe that you messed up in the head if you think that killing people is okay. Like if you just I'm gonna go out and kill this person because they don't believe what I believe or whatnot. But I do believe that just as a treating thy neighbor as you would want to be treated, I don't think there's anybody out there that wants to get punched in the face. We talked about this kind of before, but I don't think there's people that want to go out there and say, man, I like getting punched in the face, so I'm going to punch people in the face because I like getting punched in the face. For the most part, when we talk about a majority wants to be treated a certain way, which is, hey, I want to feel love. I want to be able to embrace my family. I want to do those things.
Let me just add to that real quick.
All right.
So back to the whole, you can't be a good politician and a good Christian. Mm-hmm. So treating people how you want to be treated. So if I am, my house burns down, how you want to be treated, I can hear myself. If I am,
yep. Go ahead. That's because I played it. I played it on my phone.
Okay.
I'm about to send it to people.
All right. If my house burns down, I'm homeless, and I'm essentially needing of shelter and refugee, basically. I would like to be received and not put into a small confinement, or I would like to get food and shelter and clothing and have my son and everyone taken care of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that happens, I should treat others that way. But we, as a society, think we don't know who's coming in, so no, we shouldn't do that. And as a whole, yes, we should do some, but we gotta be careful who we bring in, right? So like if you are like, if you need to come in, because we have more than enough resources. You're gonna be like, yeah, we don't want you in that office because we're scared of the people you're letting in. It's just an example of what I mean in real life.
Yeah.
And to go back to the Trump Bible that you said.
Yeah.
I don't know if you asked a question about it or how I feel about it, but I'm just gonna say when Jesus was on earth, he turned over some tables in the church, in the synagogue, because they were using the faith for profit. They were basically selling
tickets to heaven,
in a sense. It was, they were just using the people were using sacrifice animals, and they were just traditions and stuff. They were profiting off of that. So Jesus was upset and got angry and told them that's not the point of this.
Okay.
So like that's that would be my argument to anyone who said like the Trump Bible was good. It's not. That's not what this is about.
I don't.
He shouldn't put his name on it. It's not about any one man. It's about Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that they were trying to put that back in the schools and trying to bring that back. You know, I can't remember if we ever said the Pledge of Allegiance growing up in school.
Yeah.
Did we ever say a prayer when you were in school? Did you all say?
I mean, when I prayed in school, I was at a private school, so I could.
You went to private school?
To first through fifth grade, yeah.
We should talk about that.
It was. Whew.
Yeah, we should talk about that one day. I didn't go to private school. I went to Montessori preschool though.
Okay.
I remember my graduation. I made a paper mache beret, so we had to wear a raspberry beret. Like I had to make a paper mache beret, and it was interesting.
I'm just gonna say this because I'm remembering first grade, first day of class. We have a chapel. I sit by this kid. His name was Chris Moore. He ended up being one of my best friends. So after chapel, which was like a 30-minute church experience, I don't know what to call it, we went outside to play for the first time. And I go looking for Chris because he's the only kid I know. As I'm looking for Chris, he's getting chased by some girls. And some girl goes, "Don't chase the brown one." And I'm like, what? I experienced racism without knowing what it was. I was so confused. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, what's happening? Like, I can't do anything about
the
this.
brown one.
Like, I'm not dirty. I don't know what I thought, but I was I know I wasn't mad because I was just confused.
You should get that tattooed on you. Don't chase the brown one.
Obviously, ironically, the person that said that name was Karen. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, Karen. Oh, Karen. Back to politics. And I, you know, when people bring in God and religion into politics, I really honestly just think they're confused. I just think because again, like I said, I don't know enough about politics. I know enough to be dangerous with politics.
Okay.
I do know that there are some things that I would love to see done. I don't know how to enact them. You know, I don't read all the things that go into a bill, or when they say, "Hey, vote no on Prop 145." I see the signs and all that stuff, but I don't really go read Prop 145 to know what it is.
I probably know more than most because I've listened to it a lot.
TikTok?
No, the news. What's most frustrating to me is how our system works. What our society wants isn't necessarily going to happen.
What do you mean?
Gun reform is a popular thing. Majority of the country wants some type of checks and balances.
You say that as I got a big,
but
behind me.
For example, one of the key indicators of someone that's going to go shoot up someone is domestic violence. Okay. So, like, it would make sense if you get a domestic violence charge, you shouldn't be able to carry a gun.
Okay.
All right. Most people agree with that, but the money and the lobbyists and the NRA and the other groups put in to fight against it. So the minority wins because the lobbyists have the money. Okay. Let me think of a different example. Our healthcare. Most people want it to be better and more affordable, and like other countries have figured this out.
Okay.
Lesser countries, less resources, have figured out how to have it so everyone can get healthcare.
But Canada, from what I hear, you still got like a long waiting list. Like it's like I can get into the doctor if I got my HMO, my high deductible plan. I can pretty much get into a doctor within 3 weeks to a month. Sometimes if their specialty, it takes longer. But I've heard that it takes a longer time to do it. And like if you miss an appointment or you have to reschedule an appointment, you could be waiting months to get that appointment back because of the free healthcare. So there are some things where that's what I've heard. Don't know.
Okay, I'm not saying Canada or these other countries are as perfect, but I do know um, there are people in the United States that won't quit their job because health insurance.
Mhm.
Where people in Canada are like, I don't even think about that. I'm just going to do what I want to do because that's not an obstacle. My family is going to be okay
Mhm.
health wise if I start this business and it doesn't go well.
Ah, yeah.
Right. So I'm saying still, even if there's lines or whatever, figure it out, but it can be done, is my point. And most people will agree with that.
Yeah.
But
I
we're
get
not going to get it because the money says we're happy this way.
So I'm looking up something. Um, all right. So all right. So 10 commandments. Thou shalt not have thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Okay.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Anything you worship more than God is a graven image. Cars, clothes, sports, even our jobs are dangerous things to worship because they can go away. But God will never go away. This is why it is best for us to only worship him.
Yes.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. I swear sometimes. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. Those are the 10 commandments. When you look at that and you look at the Constitution, do you feel, because we're talking about God and politics, do you think the Constitution aligns with these 10 ways to live that are the 10 commandments?
No.
Okay.
The Constitution called us 3/5. So by itself, it can align with the 10 commandments.
Okay.
I can't say that the Constitution in itself is an idol, but or like above God in that sense.
Mhm.
But to some it is. So
And the Constitution was created after the land we're on was taken,
right.
which
But there's
is
a lot of killing involved.
yes,
A lot of killing.
yes, a lot of people didn't survive, and that's a light way to put it.
Mhm. And we stole the land. We stole the land, and then we gave them some land, and then it was like, oh no, we want that back. Here's a little less. And then, oh yeah, can you guys move in? And then we sneezed on them, and they got sick. And yeah,
never lie, steal, cheat, or drink.
yeah, we lied.
But if you must lie, lie in the arms of the one you love. If you must steal, steal away from bad company. If you must cheat, cheat death.
Okay.
And if you must drink, drink in the
hits.
moments that take your breath away.
I choked.
Mhm.
I was choking up.
That was deep. It's deep. For you all that don't know, that was from the movie Hitch.
Mhm.
But it brought in like 3 of the commandments, so I had to bring that up. Yeah. But we don't have any viewers, so I can pretty much say what I want to say.
The Constitution also is like very contradictory.
Yeah.
It contradicts itself.
Well, all right, let's see. Article, amendments. There have been 27 amendments. First Amendment, freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. So they're bringing religion into state. That's where we talked about the church and state. They're bringing religion into politics when they talk about freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition.
So to just give some context to that, the freedom of religion basically is saying, because like where they came from, they were forced to be a religion. And they're saying the government's not going to force you to participate in any religion,
Okay.
and it's not going to sponsor any religion. That's why people took the Constitution for saying you can't pray in schools, in public schools that the government's paying for, because the government's not supposed to sponsor religion.
Okay.
So that's why I said separated. The religions, you have freedom to do what you want religiously, but as long as it doesn't like hinder someone else's freedoms. Like I can't say my religion allows me to murder, because murder is against the Constitution.
Murder is against the Constitution, but it has the right to bear arms. So the right to
Yeah,
bear
but
arms
me,
is
I can
protect
just go.
yourself.
Yeah, but like I can't like just go sacrificing people.
But murder, there's the definition of murder. If
Yeah.
someone comes on my land and I say I'm gonna shoot them, that's murder.
That's self-defense. That's not murder.
That's murder. If you take another life, to me, it's murder.
Okay,
I don't care.
In the eyes of the Constitution, murder and self-defense are different. Yeah,
because they made that stuff up.
Okay.
They decided they decided what they wanted to be murder and not be murder. Like, let's call it what it is. If you take somebody's life, it's murder. I'm not saying that. So me basically saying all murder is not wrong. And basically what the Constitution is saying, like all murder is not wrong. But if you take someone's life, you kill someone, that's murder.
Okay.
That's how I think about it. I mean, like you've murdered somebody.
Okay.
You know,
I'm not gonna argue with you.
You don't believe that though?
It's just semantics.
Semantics. But do you agree with it?
I mean, technically, you're right.
That's what I'm talking about. You finally agree with me on something. Yeah, I don't know. I really got nothing. I don't really, I just think that for one, this is the layman's guide to the Bible. And that's one of the things that, when people make a comment or things like that, they're going to look at this and say, it's kind of one-sided because there are other religions, and we're talking about the Bible. And sometimes I want to bring in because the Quran is a Bible. It's a version of the Bible.
I wouldn't call it a Bible. It's a religious book.
Why wouldn't you call it a Bible though? So it's a story.
I mean, Bible just means book anyway. So yeah, sure, you can call it a Bible.
You would need semantics tonight. Like, what? Hold on, are you okay? Because you giving in too quick with me.
No, that's cool. I can talk about Islam.
Why?
And because I've studied it.
Oh, okay. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
This actually goes against what we're talking about today, but I certainly expected us to talk about it at some point.
At some point, but this is a layman's guide to the Bible, so we don't gotta get into it.
I think to be intellectually honest, if you don't question Islam, but you are a believer, because Islam claims to be an extension of the God of Abraham, those books.
Mm-hmm.
So Islam claims to be in the line of Christianity. I think you should consider it.
Okay. What wouldn't you consider? What wouldn't you consider? What religion in your mind is
like Scientology seems dumb.
Tom Cruise is 105 years old.
Okay.
And he about to come out with another Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
105 years old.
He's not that old. He's not Rick. Who is it? Joe Lewis. He's not Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis 100. Yeah, I mean, but he don't look like he's that old. He don't look like he
is. This your argument for Scientology?
No, it's not. He believes in Scientology and he look young. I just was putting that together. I just was saying it because they talk about, Scientology. I hear that they say Scientology are like devil worshippers. That's what they've said. I don't know. I don't know anything about Scientology. But
I would make an argument that people who follow Islam are mistakenly that.
Okay. Now, would you say that I am a Scientologist because I keep asking you about dinosaurs?
No.
Because I'm talking about science and proving these different things.
No, you're not a Scientologist.
Scientology. I gotta look this up.
It's a pyramid scheme too. It's not.
What did you just call it?
But like you have to buy into to the knowledge. Like you have to buy in to get like the first layer, and then like that's why the celebrities are the highest up because they have the money to pay for the BS.
Okay. Okay.
And literally, this dude just wrote a science fiction story and told them people it was religion. They bought it.
So
Literally bought it.
Scientology is a set of beliefs and practices that some consider a religion, while others consider it a cult, business, or scam. It
Yeah.
was founded in the 1950s by American author L. Ron Hubbard. So the beliefs are humans are immortal, spiritual beings called Thebans that live in physical bodies. Thebans have had many past lives, including some in extraterrestrial cultures. Humans have an innate abilities that can be regained by clearing unwanted behavioral patterns. Humans have a reactive mind that responds to trauma, clouding the analytic mind. Humans can reach their full potential by understanding their relationship to the universe and supreme being. If this Get Out is Scientology, Get Out.
I don't know, maybe. But here's another reason why I think Scientology is like ridiculous. Because if you were born before 1950 or you died before 1950, you wouldn't even never even had an opportunity to know it. So it's just for the people, our parents' age and older and younger. I mean,
and younger. Scientologists undergo auditing, which is a process that can help them discover past life events.
Where they take your money, I'm sure.
Yeah, you owe me money from when you were born in 1902, but you owe me from your life in 1802.
I guess that might be their loophole to get out of starting in 1950 because everyone just has past lives that now get to know the truth.
I didn't know John Travolta was a practicing Scientologist.
John's one. I think Will was at one point too.
I mean, this says notable Kirstie Alley, Ann Archer. You see how I just skipped over that? Catherine Bell, Chick Corea, Tom Cruise, and John Travolta are some notable members of Scientology.
Way off subject, but I saw a TikTok where this person saw a billboard. And it's like, that looks like Will Smith with hair. And then the person's like, yeah, because it's Willow. It is Will Smith with hair.
Yeah, true. Speaking of TikTok, I saw somewhere, because we're talking about politics, I saw somewhere that somebody was on TikTok recently, like, let's say 2 days ago, let's say a couple days ago. And it asked them if they wanted to log in with their Facebook credentials.
What? Yeah.
So if Facebook already got Instagram, so isn't that like that's like a monopoly? They can't own, Twitter and Instagram,
in theory. But like monopolies, people have had monopolies for a long time.
Hey, why don't you got TikTok on your phone, don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't you sign out of TikTok?
I'm good.
And then sign back in and see if it asks you if you want to sign it, or why don't you just go into your phone Let's go into your TikTok app right now and see if it like asks you, do you want to link your Facebook or like sign in with your Facebook? I don't know. I don't have TikTok. I deleted it. I created it years ago. It was called Trice Kids, and I like to have two videos. So while you're on TikTok, look up Trice Kids and see if that TikTok comes up. It might be like 2 videos from like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it didn't ask me anything.
Okay, it didn't. Okay, try
a lot of things.
Yeah, I'll
do Trice Kids.
I'll do that later.
Just do it right now. Do Trice Kids. I just want to see
that shop in bit.
Where you been shopping at?
Women be shopping.
Come on, Reggie.
4 followers.
Oh shoot, for real? On Trice Kids? It's like 2 videos on there, or 1? It's like Aria.
2 videos.
Okay, Lisa probably the one that liked them. I created that. I can't log into it. I don't have it on my phone. I created it like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. We talk about politics. It's a weird whirlwind. Right now.
Our president, after inauguration, whatever that word is,
Mhm.
went to a church, a prayer thing. Did you see
Mhm.
that?
No.
Where the priest there asked him to be mindful of the people who are scared, like the foreigner, the immigrant, the LGBTQ community. And she said it very nicely. She was just basically saying, like, you're the president of everyone, and these people are everyone. Please be like, have mercy on them too. Like, don't just like go scorch earth on them, basically. Trump called her a nasty person and said it was a fake church and he did his thing, whatever. I struggle with anyone who heard her and thought what Trump said was right. One.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
two, JD Vance went on an interview and kind of like took Trump's side, and he said something about it's an old concept in Christianity where you take care of your family first, and then take care of your community, and then take care of your nation, and after that, then you take care of the foreigner. And I also think that is wrong.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense if you play out love your neighbor as yourself, because that just means the person next to you, the person you interact with. It doesn't mean like your physical neighbor. It just
Yeah,
means
but
other people.
but I'll go. I got two things to talk about, two things to say. But I I agree that you got to take care of what's in your four walls first. You got to get your house in order.
Okay.
As the president, you got to get the house in order. Which the house is the the White House, the Senate, the Congress. I think that's getting that, and that's why that's the first thing they do in the first days. And it takes them a time to get the people in place. But I think they're doing that to set up some other things.
Okay.
But for me, I want to make sure I can't keep supporting things if my house isn't in order. And so I always say I do believe that you got to get your house in order first. Your house has to be in some kind of order for you to be able to help others. I can't help others if my stuff is in shambles. And so, like right now for me, like for me being vulnerable in this because we don't have nobody watching, but I have a nonprofit, and my nonprofit, I don't get paid from the Trice Legacy Foundation. I don't get any money from that. I put the time in, but I don't get any money from that. And I look at so like a couple weeks ago, my wife lost her job. So we are now down to one income and trying to figure out what that looks like going forward after this month. And so I got to get my house in order from things. And the reason why I bring that up is because I had a friend of mine, you know her too. But when I started the foundation, she believed in what I went on Facebook and I said, hey, friends, I'm trying to start this foundation, but I need some money to help get this going if you believe in what I'm trying to do. And didn't ask for a certain amount of money, just say whatever you give to help. And at that time, I wasn't a nonprofit. So people were just giving me money and trusting that I was going to do what I said I was going to do. And I started the foundation. And at that time, I think I had 1,000 friends on Facebook. And I think I got like 1,600 friends right now on Facebook, which, yeah, it's a lot of people. But I think I had like 1,000 at that time. And she sent me a text message and she said, hey, George, I just donated $5. I'm glad of what you're doing. But that's all I can afford right now. And she didn't have to do that, but she did what she could do to help me in that situation. And I bring that up because I'm like, I look at that and I say, hey, she felt something passionate about what somebody else was doing to be able to help, even though, and she only could give what she could give. And I do believe that, you got to give what you can give in these situations and in these circumstances. But again, you have to own, you can't be giving to you have nothing left. Like your analogy earlier in this podcast, you talked about you having 10 apples and 9 people came to you. So you didn't have to give your last. You still were able to eat. Yeah. You gave to 9 people, you still were able to eat. And if you're able to do that, just like she was able to give a little bit to help others, because together what I was trying to do we could do so much more.
Okay.
So I just say that to say, you know, with the helping of the people and helping thy neighbor and things like that, you got to have your house in order and then do what you can for what you believe, because you can't spread yourself thin. Like, she could have gave 5,000 nonprofits a penny each, and it would have been, hey, you gave, thank you for giving and supporting. But that would have been spreading thin, and the impact wouldn't have been as great as just giving $1 to $5.
Yeah. So back to the, I guess, the beginning concept, and I don't think we're saying anything different. God's kingdom is loving and serving others.
Okay.
Empire, like what the United States is kind of like taking and dominating to a degree. And as we sit now, the 1%, not all, but the 1% are devising ways to hoard their wealth. That is not of God's kingdom. God's kingdom would not suggest that. But like, to go back to your analogy, I wasn't saying that God would say to give everything. But if you think about your home, you're not exactly satisfied or happy with where you're at exactly in your house, right? In your home. Like, you have aspirations to build, but you still have a nonprofit that you just said you're not making any money from, that's supporting other people trying to get, you know, a better shake at life, right? So you are not exactly where you want to be. So your home isn't how you want it, but you still spend some time serving others. That's what I'm saying God wants.
Okay. So
you're doing, like, you're being a king of your home, right? But at the same time, in your kingdom, you spend some of your time and resources trying to help other people's kingdom be better. And JD Vance was saying, you take care of yourself first. You get to where you want to be, and then you can look at your neighbor and help build them up. And I don't think that's a bad.
Well, and the reason why, and I don't agree with that, and not because of, I don't agree. I get what he's saying, but if I always look at the game with the monkeys, the game Barrel of Monkeys or whatever, where you kind of, am I using the wrong one because we're black?
No, you just like you just try to keep your black card like on layaway.
No, my black card is mine.
So as people start listening to this, and they're gonna be like, so George doesn't like when black people say the N-word, but he's okay with white people saying it.
That's not what I say. You put words. I kind of said. I mean, I said.
You said pure black people can't say it. That's what you said.
I didn't say pure. I didn't say pure black people. I said people born in America whose families, you know, went through slavery.
Yeah,
it was okay. They could say the N-word, but if their ancestors like that were in the United States, if they don't have ancestors that went through slavery, like where they were living here, like, you know, and they were born here and their ancestors were here as slaves. Right. It's different. Hey man,
I'm trying to help you out. But now you're protecting your black card. I just wanted you to do that.
But back to my point.
Yeah,
you gotta if you can't get all the way to the top, because if you get all the way to the top, let's just say for an analogy, let's just say a quick analogy. I'm 6 foot tall, 6'2", 6'3", and if my arm is 2 feet long, 2.5 foot long, I'm not talking about your height. Why are you shaking your head? I wasn't gonna talk about your height.
You said your arm. I thought you were talking about me trying to push you.
No, we can talk about that later. But I'm saying, like, my arm is only so long. So if I go and I jump over this, if I'm over this 6 foot wall, if I'm over this 8 foot wall, and I try to help you, I might not be able to help you up because you're not 6 foot tall. Now, I'm not gonna talk about your height on this one, but I'm saying, like, if my arm only can go so low, and it's an 8 foot wall, and I get over this 8 foot wall, and I try to reach down to get you, we're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have to stand on your tippy toes. I'm gonna have to lean halfway off to help you bring you up. But if I was only partway up that wall, and I started bringing you up with me, and we started bringing others with us, we can get up that wall, and more people could come with us and get over that together. because we have
Yeah.
people that can help us. So I feel that we can't get all the way to the top and then try to help people. We have to bring
Right.
people as we want, because and this is also my corporate American goes to me. Somebody, one of my old associates that I used to manage, she posted something on LinkedIn the other day talking about a leader. And this young lady was being coached out of the organization that I was manager at. They gave up on her. They said, she can't learn this, she can't do this, she's not going to be successful. And that was the stigma surrounding her before I came on board. I listen to that stuff as a manager, as a leader. I listen to that stuff and I try to make my own deductions of, I'm going to deduce that this person, something else is going on. Because as a leader, you got to look at that and say, there's something else that may be going on, or we're not looking at it the right way, or we're not helping them to understand it the way they should be. And she tagged me because I helped her get promotions. I didn't give up on her. I found out how to work with her. I got her involved in some things that kind of made her enjoy her job more. And she posted and tagged me on something to, as a good leader. Again, that's the bringing the people up. I still mentor people now to this day that even when I left Arizona and moved to Ohio, I still mentor the same person. And I meet with him now still every other month, things like that. So you got to do that. And you got to bring people up at that point because you can't wait till you get all the way to the top. So when Van says something like that, that's just bull. Like you have to get yourself in order, in a place where you can help. There are a lot of hours in the day. Like right now we're doing this podcast. My kids are asleep. So I have time. I could be sitting watching TV with my wife, or I could be in here doing this and somebody gets some little nugget out of this. No matter what we're saying, this one of those 5 viewers might have picked something out of this. Or I might get somebody recognize me for something else. So it's like those little things is like wasting time. And like, again, I got to take the time to do these things. So
yeah. Just to bring some biblical characters into my argument. Paul was one of the people who spread the church after Jesus went up to heaven.
Okay.
And if he was doing what J.D. Vance is saying, he wouldn't have left his home. He would have stayed in place and tried to, build up that area. But he went all around different countries and to spread the message of who Jesus is. And the Bible says to go be fishermen of men and proclaim the gospel to all nations. So you can't go out and proclaim the gospel to bring kingdom, and kingdom is like serving others, and only take care of your home. Those two things don't align. That's what I'm saying. So like he has it wrong, even though it sounds like it makes sense, but he has it wrong because Jesus doesn't say just take care of the little. He's like, do as much as you can to whoever you encounter.
Okay. I get that. So as we close out, I got a hard question for you. And this is
A hard question?
The hard question.
Okay.
And as you know, and some of the people that listen to this are going to, whether if they're Republicans, they're going to look at this and say this is a setup.
Okay.
And this goes to the God in politics. So for as long as, I guess as long as the president has been there, I don't know if it happened with the first president, but when the president gets sworn in, they put their hand on a Bible to get sworn in.
Okay.
Our last presidential inauguration, our current president did not put his hand on the Bible to when he got sworn in.
Okay.
Do you know what the significance is? When we talk about church and state, and I know you look at the Constitution and you can see that religion piece in there. Is it a requirement that you are a Christian or practice Christianity to be the president?
No.
So why is there a Bible there?
You can swear on any book you want.
Oh, you can? So he could have sworn a Bible that he endorsed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going to take it a little further.
Okay.
He's not a man of faith. He might say he's Christian, but his words have contradicted himself. And I'm not talking about like the obvious things. I'm saying someone asked him if he's ever asked for forgiveness. He said no. He doesn't think he's needed to. So until he changes that stance, he can't say he's a follower of Christ, because to accept Jesus, you acknowledge that you're a sinner and you need to be saved. And he's like, I don't have anything to ask for forgiveness about. I mean, there's many things that I would say. The Bible says, like, to know who his followers are by their fruit. And that is like patience, kindness, forgiveness, mercy. Those are fruits of the Spirit. And I find those things lacking, as the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get attacked by Trump people. So the FBI, like, we're in danger. I said something about Islamic people. If they hear that, they're going to put death threats on me. Your black card's in trouble. And you provoke Drake. So we might have like lawsuits and death threats.
If we get canceled, I am okay with that. If we get canceled, that means somebody important listened to us to cancel us.
We can't get canceled though. You have to have followers to get canceled.
That's what I'm saying. If we do, that means we've made it.
Okay.
And we will always, if we get canceled, we made it. You know,
I'm just saying, like, we're poking some huge bears.
But you need to poke the bears. You gotta poke bears, because that's the only time people really listen, is when they get kind of provoked or angry. Again, just like when people leave a review. Most of the time people leave a review, it's a negative review. Something bad happened in the situation, so they leave a review. Oh, George was horrible service at Best Buy when he was installing my TV, and he scuffed my floor with his sneakers. I don't know if that was ever a comment on me. Or the teak house in Iowa State on the board. Tim and them have to stop bringing their black friends because he's taking all the girls. That was actually true. Somebody put that on the board at a meeting for the teaks. I always find it funny that I couldn't go to teak parties because I just would dance with people. Hey, dancing. But it's like, you always got to poke somebody, because that's when people kind of show who they really are and kind of be real. Because again, right now we have a lot of people that are quiet and thinking things, but they don't talk about it. And we got to have more conversation around things. And that's why when we talked about atheism is illogical in episode like 2 or 3, that's why the next episode I had to call the other side of the pillow, because I wanted to bring in some arguments from atheists, because again, we are talking about from our side and from the side that we know of. And so again, I would encourage Drake to come on this show to talk about the things that I have been saying about him, that he is popular music. We're gonna hit him with a little Flight of the Bumblebee when he comes on.
We need millions more people to even have him, and we're not white. So, well,
are there words we can say that will trigger us to get canceled? Are there words that
him to sue us? Oh, we can mention that song and how he lost.
Now that song is on the playlist. It was submitted for the set list for the Super Bowl. It was submitted.
He's gonna do the song.
The NFL don't want that smoke.
He's gonna do the song.
I don't know if he is.
The NFL said he has the right to do his show.
Okay.
It's
now,
the biggest song of last year. How's he not going to do it?
What's funny about that is even Taylor Swift was dancing at it at the Grammys.
Right, yeah,
she was singing not like us.
With the glasses,
with the champagne,
and the Grammys set it up so you heard A minor at the end. Like, they'd have to play that part,
and the audience sang it.
Yeah.
The audience said it.
Yeah.
Did you see Drake? Not Drake. You see, Kanye got kicked out.
I heard two different things. I heard he didn't want to go in. And
I
saw what his wife was wearing. So yeah.
Okay, he didn't want to go in. He set that up because his after party was huge. He come in with his naked wife. She was wearing sheer. Like, he wasn't planning on going in there. He knew they weren't going to let him in there. He knew that. It was a ploy, because at the Grammys, he paid for a commercial for Yeezy.com, and they were promoting the Yeezy shoes.
Okay.
It was a ploy. Now, what I do want to see is the other day on the Grammys as well. I was just sitting there having to watch. I'm like, they didn't just do that. Heinz is about to come out with something crazy. I don't know. Did you see the commercial?
Who?
Heinz ketchup.
No.
Oh, Heinz ketchup is about to go on the Super Bowl. They about to go crazy. So it was a commercial. It was blank white, and then there was a bottle of Heinz ketchup, and it was starting to pour. And then all of a sudden, it got knocked out. It was like mustard.
Oh, okay.
And they said mustard X mustard. So I think DJ Mustard and Heinz are about to do some collab crazy thing that's going to come out of the Super Bowl, which is going to be awesome. I just got to say that.
How crazy is that?
That is, I mean, it's they put it to SpongeBob, they put it to Dragon Ball Z, like it fits so many things. Like that thing blew up. Like, yeah, man, I just can't wait to see that. You know, I just can't wait to see it. It's the 8th. Okay, I'm just making sure I had to cancel my YouTube 4K because I didn't want to pay the extra $10 for 4K. But I got it to the 15th, so I get to see the Super Bowl hopefully in 4K. If they don't have Super Bowl in 4K, I'm complaining.
Okay.
Because YouTube TV is getting too expensive.
What you got, Colin? Now, I'm going with 3-peat.
Did you know that they put in Pat Riley to use that because he has it? He has that phrase trademark.
I didn't know. I heard that.
So
recently.
they already went to him to say if we win, they already are paying him royalties to use it. So they're getting stuff printed with 3-peat already.
So the Bulls have to pay Pat Riley.
Yes.
That's G.
Yeah. Saquon is a beast.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna jump over nobody backwards, but I think Saquon is gonna give the Chiefs a run for their money, but you can't count out fourth quarter Kelsey. That's Cleveland. That's Cleveland all day. That's Cleveland Heights. Sorry, Cleveland Heights. You know, I think the Chiefs are gonna win. I just can't see them. I look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is great. Tom Brady was a great, accurate quarterback. Like he threw the ball the way it was to play the game the way it was played. Like Tom Brady is like the fundamental, like the Tim Duncan of the basketball. He played his position very well. Tim Duncan was a great power forward, played that position and did it. Patrick Mahomes, some of the stuff he throws out of his hand, falling to the ground and shuffle passing, or like the way he throws the ball and the way he sees the game is different than anything I've seen. So on a big stage, you can never count him out. You know, last year he played with a hurt foot for 2 games. You know, they sat out for like almost 3 weeks before they played the game. He still came out. Didn't look as great, but can't count him out. I think it's going to be the 3-peat. I kind of want to go to New Orleans just to go down there to see how the atmosphere is going to be. By the way, I did keep checking Apple Music. Lil Wayne, you said something was coming out today. Nothing came out. I want to see what you was doing. Wayne, holla at me. OVO.
Just need to be quiet for a little bit.
This is the end of it. Ain't nobody gonna make it to 1 minute and 1 hour.
No, I'm saying Wayne should have been quiet. Oh. He shouldn't have said anything.
Wayne is one of my favorite rappers.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying
he's one of my favorite rappers.
He shouldn't have been whining that Kendrick got the Super Bowl because Kendrick had nothing to do with that.
I know.
He just said yes.
Yeah, but he should have been. It's the 20th anniversary of Katrina. It's big for that city.
Have you seen Wayne perform live on TV?
Yeah, yes.
It's Silk the Shocker-esque performances.
So after I got the phone with you this morning, I did listen to Silk the Shocker, the Shocker album.
Yeah.
I got that. He was
and they're
so audience. There's an upbeat in music and there's a downbeat in music. Silk the Shocker rapped to the downbeat. He was not offbeat. He rapped to the downbeat. Greatest rapper of all time.
Still
the Shocker.
Trying to explain that he did that stuff on purpose. It's the same as that guy taking 18 steps and saying he's not traveling. It's just lies.
You know, the number of steps doesn't really matter. It's all made up.
You can dribble, take 18 steps, dribble again, as long as you don't stop your dribble. Yeah.
So we're gonna close on this one. So the Kevin, I was listening to Kevin Durant say something about like these ballers today or whatever. So the step back is not a travel. So could I get the ball at 3-point line and run all the way backwards and shoot it from further and it's not a travel.
You can take 2 steps in any direction you want.
That's a travel.
No, you can take 2 steps with any direction you want.
I think if you switch your pivot foot, it's a travel.
You know, if you know, like 2 steps shoot, 2 steps layup. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless of what direction you're going. Yeah, regardless of the direction you're going, you can take 2 steps. That's all I'm saying.
I think if you go backwards, you could take as many as you want.
No,
I should be able to pick the ball up and run.
No, you're not. You're not LeBron.
You had to bring that up at the end of the show. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I see what it is. So
But
on that
Jesus is
note,
my
on
goat.
that note,
Yeah.
I